Hey guys, it's Meredith with Pop Vintage and Home. Hope you're all doing well today. It is kind of a gloomy Saturday here in the northeastern part of the United States. It's been a couple weeks since I filmed a video, just been busy and tired with the new job. But it occurred to me the other day that I have this little journal that I made that I could show to you. Now this little journal, as you can see, it's made out of 2 game cards from an old Parker Brothers game from the 1960s called Funny Bones. This was Parker Brothers' answer to Twister, basically. Because the game is all about, you pick a card and you have to sort of contort yourself with your partner into a silly position and hold the card between one player's elbow and the other player's head. Silly game, fun game, and I got these cards at a thrift store near me a couple of years ago, so I decided to use them. Now, this little journal was inspired by this little journal that I bought from Katie at the Paper Basket. I don't believe she has a YouTube channel, but she's on Instagram. That's where I discovered her. And she has an Etsy store where she sells all kinds of supplies for paper crafting and junk journaling. And she makes these darling little journals out of vintage papers and ephemera. So I was inspired by this to make this, and I made this little journal for one of my sisters-in-law. So this little journal measures, let's see, about 4¼ inches wide by a little under 6 inches tall. The inside pages are a little smaller. That's what the card measures, and you can see I cinch bound it with my nifty cinch binding machine. So we'll take a little flip through this, and I'll show you what I put inside. So it starts, we've got a little index card, a vintage index card, a note sheet that I picked up recently at an estate sale. This is a magazine image, an old vintage magazine image. This was from one of those knitting magazines that tells you how to knit different kinds of sweaters. One of those little golden book flower guides, field guides to wildflowers. This is from a paper pad, and I just clipped it in with a little altered paper clip. This is vintage typewriter paper, I think. This is from a vintage gingerbread man book. This is cardstock from a paper pad. I made a little pocket here and clipped this in. This was one of those cutaways from a paper pad. Archie comic, Betty and Veronica comic, flashcard, index card. This I think was from a vintage sewing book. Cardstock from a paper pad, another little altered paper clip, and a vintage playing card. Vintage graph paper, music paper. This is from a flower book, vintage wallpaper, a vintage envelope, and let's see, I tucked in some Milton Bradley money, a little note sheet, and a recipe card. You can see the predominant color is pink because my sister-in-law, that's her favorite color. It also happens to be my favorite color. A little pocket and more Milton Bradley money and another vintage playing card. I think there might be 2 here. There are. These cards got kind of stuck together, which is a shame. I don't know how that happened. This is from the sewing book. This is ledger paper from a notebook from the 1930s. Got this at an estate sale. This is Tim Holtz wallpaper paper, and I made a little altered paper clip junk journal jewelry with some really nice beads that Carrie the Paper Monkey sent me. Little cake image I clipped in there. Recipe, a score sheet from the Art Linkladder People Are Funny game. Wrapping paper, a comic, a Peanuts comic from a book of Peanuts comics. This is paper that I picked up at an estate sale recently in the past month or so. This is just a vintage book page, vintage ad, another note sheet. This is from one of those vintage Humpty Dumpty little children's magazines. And this was from a grade book that I picked up recently at an estate sale. This was from a recipe book, cardstock. This was from a fitness book that I picked up years ago. I don't even remember where. More ledger. This is a sack, a bag that I cut open, and I put this little game card in it. This was from a game that I had as a kid. A little book page from a children's reader. This is just from a manila envelope. Pretty satin ribbon. Vintage receipt. A little paint chip. More paper from the grade book. I made a page out of a guest check, and I added, let's see, a message sheet and an inspection record tag. I think I got the inspection record tag in Happy Mail. This was like an index card from that I picked up at a thrift store, and it has the month on it, and then on the other side it has the days at the bottom, the days of the month. And this is from a book I picked up at an estate sale in March, I think. It's an image from a book about retro housewives. And there's the end. So that's my little junk journal, quick little video for you today. And I hope everyone's doing well, and I hope to record another video soon. Bye.